Hey guys, TURKSTYX here, with that promised video of Battleground and other PvP footage as a Hemorrhage Subtlety Rogue. I promised this in my first guide, and I'll put up a link to that in the corner right here. You can click on that link and go to my other video, which goes into a bit more in depth about the basics about how to set up your character. I'm gonna quickly just recap one quick thing, just look over my talent tree again. I'm gonna show you guys, this is again the Hemorrhage build, meaning you're not gonna be using backstab in this build, you'll be using Hemorrhage as your main attack. One quick change from the other video is, I know in my earlier video I said I use Glyph of Cloak Shadows. I'm gonna change that. I'm just waiting on the glyph to come in the mail. It's gonna be a Glyph of Preparation as ability. Glyph of Preparation is what I'm going to be changing it to. The reason for that is because Glyph of Preparation has a nice utility, and there's been a lot of times in 2s where I've needed it. The Glyph of Cloak Shadows was useful in Battlegrounds, where I just really needed all the survivability, but in arenas on a smaller scale where I need some more utility, I really found myself missing the second smoke bomb and a few other abilities that come with it. So yeah, I would advise, if you're going to do arenas, change that in your glyphs. Okay, I had done some 2s earlier today with a buddy that I just met. His name, I'll put up a link to his channel right over here. He has quite a few videos, and he has footage of me doing 2 of them. He's an Arms Warrior, and first off the bat, Arms Warriors aren't the best comp. Like, you're gonna see, I'm just gonna put up the video clips of us winning, but we had a good amount of losses too. Some of them were close, some of them were up against some ridiculous comps that we didn't even stand a chance against. Again, 2s is a very broken PvP thing. It's 3s and 5s where things get a bit more serious, in my opinion. Anyways, all that aside, let's hop on over to one of these dummies and talk about how you're going to play as a Hemorrhage hero. Let's get our poisons up, even though they're not going to damage, just for consistency's sake. Okay, now I'm going to talk in more detail about this later in the video, but what you use as your finishers is really extremely circumstantial. Here are a few guidelines. You never want to spend more than 2 points on a slice and dice or a recuperate, unless of course your target's dead and redirect is on cooldown or something. The only time I ever do a 4 or 5 point recuperate is if, like, I'm taking a lot of heavy damage, and my thing is I'm just trying to get through this guy's damage and cooldown below or whatever. What I'm trying to say is the only time you're going to use like a 3 or more point recuperate is if you're like, holy shit, I'm going to be taking a lot of damage for a while, or I'm going to be doing a lot of kiting, and yeah, like that. But beyond that, you're never really going to use more than 2 point recuperate. Again, it's really up to you. It's up to your discretion. Just be smart and know what you gotta do. So here's a little breakdown of how your finishing move priorities go. Eviscerate and Rupture, those are your biggest ones. Those are the finishers that you really want to keep on using. Slice and Dice, I usually like put up a 1 point Slice and Dice and keep that up every once in a while. I don't make an effort to really keep it up. I'm more so focused on Eviscerate and Rupture. For Rupture, you want to use 3+ points. 3 is the average. That's usually around when I'll blow a Rupture. I'll save 4 and 5 points for the Eviscerate. So, I talked about this in the other video. Which finisher you use really depends. If I'm fighting, let's say, an Unholy DK who's going to be kiting the crap out of me, or any kind of tank spec who I'm going to be kiting a lot, let's say like a Hunter or someone like that, or any kind of a ranged guy who I know is going to have a lot of like time away from me, because let's face it, you can be the best rogue in the world, but if you're fighting an equally good person of another class, then they're going to get away from you. They're going to kite you, they're going to get away, they're going to mitigate your damage like that. So you're going to want to keep your bleeds going, especially as a hemorrhage spec where you're spec to increase your bleed damage. You're really going to want to keep 4 to 5 point ruptures going on that target, and use maybe 1 or 2 eviscerates when you're lucky. Generally, when I'm going against someone like that, I'll usually favor to keep slice and dice up and big point ruptures up on the target, but that's just me. Excuse me. You can do whatever's to your own discretion. When you're facing someone like that, save your shadow step. Don't make it so that that's the first thing you do. And always as a rogue, a few tips is your big priority should always be to get your opponent to blow their cooldowns. Like, a lot of times I'll sap someone and I'll go straight into fighting their partner, and the partner that I sap will blow their cooldown, and I can just use a blind. It's a very cheap and simple trick. Works every time. There were a few arenas today where I don't have all the footage on here, but there were some times when someone blew the trinket and I just blinded them, and they were stuck in an 8-second blind rather than a 4-second sap, you know? But yeah, I'm not gonna delve too much into specifics like one-on-one classes. I'm just gonna give you general guidelines. So you're gonna stealth. You're always gonna want to start with a premeditation down to recuperate. And what I'll usually do generally, especially as hemo spec, is open with a Garrett. Use that 1 point to do a slice and dice, get my 3 point rupture up, and after that just keep going with 4 to 5 point eviscerates. Be sure to keep your 1 to 2 point recuperates going, and remember, whenever it's off cooldown, go into shadow dance, and make sure you have premeditation keybound in your shadow dance so that you can use premeditation to generate some extra combo points, and use ambush as much as possible and get a fresh Garrett up there, because Garrett bleed damage is pretty good. That's kind of a rough overview of how it goes. I'll delve more into specifics in the videos, but that's just kind of the basic rotation. Keep recuperate going. 2, 3-ish point ruptures, 4 to 5 point eviscerates, 1 to 2 point slice and dices. Yeah. A few keybinds I would do is definitely I have my default blind keybind. It's a keybound. It's a MOUSEOVER macro. I'll put the macro down below. And I have another blind that's macroed as a focus blind. And I've really started using focus macros, and I might even start using them for focus kick and stuff. Just because there's times when switching targets is inconvenient and it'll reduce your DPS a little bit, and it gets confusing sometimes to switch between targets, as I found today. So yeah. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the PvP footage. Alright, the first video I have is this duel that I had with my buddy for twos. I was just thinking about what I was going to do to open. I decided I'm going to sap him a little bit to test his intelligence. He pops Berserker Rage and Retaliation from the start, so I just kind of wait for those to die off and before I start my opener. So just waiting for those to go off. Premeditation is off cooldown, so I can open up whenever I'm ready. Pre-med, get off, recuperate, shadow step ambush, and I start immediately using hemorrhage to go up to a 5 point. He was parrying them, but finally I put up a rupture on him. And for the first part, I'm just kind of kiting him around a bit. I do believe I got combat readiness up on him to mitigate his initial burst. I go into Vanish, cheap shot him, get a 5 point eviscerate, and at that point I go into Shadow Dance, and I use Premeditation and Ambush to get a 5 point eviscerate dump on him. Hit those me down, I trinket out of it, put up Slice and Dice for the final burst, disarm him, and this is when he starts freaking out a little bit. As soon as the disarm goes away, I stun him. I go into Vanish, get another recoup up. Yeah, I could have probably used evasion at one point. Oh, Actually, I tend not to use evasion against warriors just because of overpower, but yeah, he did a lot of damage, but I was able to mitigate it and keep my damage going, so yeah. Alright, so here we are in Battle for Gilneas, and right now I'm just kind of looking for whatever comes my way. We're about to have some incoming assaulters. You see over there, there's a mage, frost mage coming in. Holy Paladin, it looks like. I think it was. Sap him. And I see a couple of my teammates attack this Paladin on the road. I use a premeditation recuperate, shadow step ambush, and after that he's already pretty low, so I just try and get a stun off on him and just use my combo point generators to you know, just burn his last percent down. I get over here to help out at the flag. I see that mage start to go for the flags. Since I see no one else is going forward, I do a MOUSEOVER blind on top of him. I shadow step over the mage, and he goes down pretty quickly, especially since there's a hunter helping me out with him. Over here you'll see when that icon comes up, I made that with power auras. When that icon pops up, that's usually a pointer for me to start using my stuns and disarms and cooldowns or whatever at this point, because that's the execute phase. So this is one of our arenas. This is me and an arms warrior in 2s, and this first comp is a double sub-rogue comp against us, so in these kind of situations I kind of wait for them to make the opener. We'll wait for my partner to kind of bait them out, and once they show their face, normally I would have sapped him there, but I wasn't quick enough to it. But yeah, quickly cheap shot, get a recuperate going, and you know, get his ice and dice up as fast as possible. When you have your damaging cooldowns up, like you can see that little circle around me indicates I have landslide up, or if I have slice and dice going. When it's stuff like that, you want to stay on your excuse me. You want to stay on your target as much as possible, because any time you spend off your target is just DPS lost. Since we're against rogues, I'm favoring Rupture as my finisher, just because it's going to do more damage to them over time. I'm going to keep them from going into stealth, and hopefully going to over time cause enough pressure to make him blow some defensives. If you notice in the beginning, they popped a lot of cooldowns right from the start. I haven't had to go into Shadow Dance a single time here. They were kind of an easy team to beat, but you know, me and the warrior together are doing enough damage anyways. Yeah. So I hope you guys kind of saw from that, however brief that fight was, that basically you just want to get your recuperate up and you want to go right to using your finishers. You're going to have plenty of energy, so don't even worry about energy deprivation. Just keep your recuperate going, keep your slice and dice up for burst moments, and you'll be fine. I would recommend using focus macros like I did there, and the first thing you should do when you have the opportunity in an arena is to identify a focus target. You can easily do that by right-clicking on the unit frame of the person that you want as your focus. This particular battle I'm very proud of, and you see why. It's a Frost Mage and a Feral Druid, and I immediately I had already used premeditation and recuperate to get up, and then I tried my best to get out of these situations, but I got caught in a freezing circle. But saved my cool trinket for another, because I know there's going to be another time when I'm going to need it more against that Frost Mage. As you can see, one of the things that I did there was I quickly vanished back into stealth to try and get another opener on the mage. Luckily my partner, as soon as he came out of the ice block, it used some abilities. My partner just went down, so at first I was a little panicked, but I quickly got up, and my first thing was to finish that Frost Mage off, because that Frost Mage is going to kill me if he's left unchecked. So as you can see, I pop up evasion, and I quickly get over there and get the other guy. So my Cloak of Shadows is on cooldown, and I have Fairy Fire on me, and this bear is going to try and eat me alive. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about the Vengeance buff anymore. So basically I just kite him around, get some bleeds on him. Everything was missing there for some reason, even though I was hit capped. Yeah, so I just kind of kite him around right now. As you can see, I'm sprinting, I'm going back in. getting a few common points, getting a recuperate off. I think I popped my my health increasing PvP trinket at one point to get some more damage off. Get rid of him there. Garrett's always a great opportunity to, you know, give yourself a breather. I'm in Shadow Dance right now, Shadow Step Ambush. You know, I'm using, this is where I did a lot of damage on him. I used my Garrett to get a good bleed on him. I'm using 4 to 5 point ruptures whenever I can. He's gone into his energetic recovery thing right now, so I'm just going to kite him around a bit, because the more I hit him, the more rage is going to regenerate and the more health he's going to regenerate. Fortunately I was able to vanish, so I Shadow Step behind him, quickly use a cheap shot, get my recuperate going, vanish again, get another opener on him with ambush, and burn him down quickly like that. As you guys saw, that last fight, I really turned the fight around at the end. Just keep your level head, keep an eye on your cooldowns, use your defensive cooldowns properly. I probably could have saved, I popped my cloak right when I knew that mage was going to try and burst me down. And then I got the mage down, and then I was able to kite around enough of the bear's damage. Granted that he was not a very good druid, but yeah, you know, just stuff like that will help you win. Alright, this is going to be a good example because this fight's got a healer in it. It's a Resto Shaman and an Arms Warrior. So first thing I do in here is we decide we're going to go for the Resto Shaman just because Resto Shaman heals are fucking amazing right now. So we quickly sap the Warrior and we start opening on the Shaman. My recuperate up. And there we go, I start with a cheap shot. Lucky for me, the Warrior was stupid enough to trinket out of a sap, so I quickly just focus blinded him. And yeah, me and my partner went to play on the Shaman. As you can see right there, he had done a Reckless Storm. Popped Recklessness and popped Blade Storm. Disarmed him. It wouldn't have done much damage, but kept him from getting to us. This part is my fault. My Shaman should have gone down like 2 seconds ago. But I didn't have keybound to my Shadow Dance like a bad little rogue, so I wasn't able to interrupt those. But yeah, if I was able to interrupt him, he would have gone down a lot faster. And now it's just me and my partner burning down the Warrior. I'm just doing a lot of 5-point eviscerates, and around here is when he's in his execute phase, and you know, I'm just going to Shadow Step, vanish, and then Shadow Step ambush him, just to quickly finish him off. Alright, this is a good match example because it deals with fighting a ranged and a melee DPS target. This was a Kitty and Hunter team, so as you can see my partner goes out and the Hunter pops up, the bear pops up, and immediately I get my recuperate up and I cheap shot him, and I tell my partner to go for the Hunter immediately, that I'll take care of the Druid. So all I do is I just sit here and I wail on the Druid for a little bit, burst him down enough in my Shadow Dance. He started to use energetic recovery and I beat on him for a little bit. Then I go over and see my partner needs help. So I get a cheap shot off on the Hunter, and within the 4 seconds that he's cheap shot, me and him just burst him down quickly. And as you can see, we finish him off here. Go back into Vanish and open up on the cat. As you can see, I hope you've seen in the past few examples of videos, I, as a rogue, and you should as well, go in and out of cheap shot a lot. I use the Deadly Toss there to help close the gap. Cat ideally would have, you know, shape-shifted out of it, but yeah. I hope you guys have been noticing that a lot of times in a lot of fights, excuse me, I will be popping in and out of stealth a lot, you know. Preparation, vanish, run out, go back into stealth. You know, you're a subtlety rogue, it's in your name. You're gonna be in and out of stealth a lot. The best thing you can do is learn how to really just kite enemies around and learn how you can move in and out of stealth, because that's where you do your most damage, is when you got your stealth abilities. Alright, the final fight that I posted is against a prot warrior and a sub rogue. I don't have a whole lot to say about this fight. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. Nothing too exciting happened. Once we had the rogue down, it was a pretty straightforward fight. The rogue kind of took the same approach that I usually do of waiting for the other stealther to show himself, so I decided, you know what, this guy's gonna might as well get the prot warrior to blow some of his defensives or whatever. So I get a Garrett off on the warrior from the beginning as I run back to the rogue, and as the rogue's wailing, I just kind of start fighting him. He disarms me at one point, then I get stunned. At this point it's just kind of a big spaghetti mess. I got the warrior on my focus, and I'm just trying to bring the rogue down as low as possible, help my partner out with him. I'm not too worried about that prot warrior. Prot warriors aren't that much of a problem. As you can see here, I quickly vanish out, get another recuperate going, and start fighting the the warrior again. I try to dispel, shove off his warrior enrages whenever I can. As a prot warrior, he'll randomly get enraged as he deals damage, so I try to dispel those. And there's my partner over there just kind of wailing on him, keeping damage going. I come back for another opener, so I'm not able to get one because he thunderclaps. But yeah, nothing too special to say about this fight. It was just pretty straightforward. I was just keeping. I didn't blow a whole lot of defensive abilities, just combat readiness, really. Yeah. And there goes that warrior. Yep, another battle won. As I said earlier, twos with an Arms Warrior and a sub rogue isn't the best comp in the world. Arms Warriors tend to be pretty squishy and don't have a whole lot of self-heal, and there's only so much control that I as the rogue can do. So the videos that I posted up were just mainly the wins that we had that day. There were an equal amount, if not more, losses as well, though. In the end of the day, we were split around 50-50 with our win-to-loss ratio. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys have any specific questions, please ask below. You know, as I always say, PvP is a very broad field. It's very hard to encompass everything you need to know within these 20-minute videos. I'm always here to do one-on-one help. If you guys have big questions, post them below, send me a message. I'll be more than happy to help you out with it. Subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll have some threes videos coming up soon. Thank you guys, bye.